Turning failure into success. Failure has got to be one of the biggest tools that you can use in any part of your life. All right, the more you fail at something, the more you're learning from that circumstance. You're now taking different approaches that you've put yourself in and you're learning from it. As long as you're not doing the same thing over and over again and failing the same way, you can learn from it. And even if you fail at it the next time, use that new knowledge to do something different. And then it's not so much about failure anymore. It's about what path you're deciding to go on. Does that make sense? Failure can be a tool. Where does failure come from? It's subjective. If it's not in a competition, in a sport where there's rules and boundaries, it's because we're not following the own boundaries we have with ourselves. We're not following other people's boundaries that are in our lives that we care about. It comes down to expectations. And if you have these expectations or these boundaries, you must follow boundaries, right? You must be respectful of other people. The thing is, when you have expectations for yourself, when you do something and you want something out of it, that's usually when you're going to meet failure. It'll knock at your door to remind you that no, you can't have everything the way you want to have it. But you can attempt to do what you want to do, and as long as you do it with good intentions, to not harm others, to better yourself and to learn in the process and to enjoy it, you might reach success. You might learn something out of it. When you learn something out of it, are you really failing? You now have a lesson that you can take for the rest of your life and walk away with. Failure is not something that should overcome us. Okay? And it's all right to feel those emotions when you get embarrassed and stuff, but hey, be like, hey, call yourself out. Sometimes it's easier to make yourself the joke. Be, hey, like I'm super embarrassed. You made me turn a cherry red. Just have a little bit of self-conscious issues with this, but it's okay. It's okay. What you said is funny. Or what happened here was kind of funny. It ended up being entertaining. And it's all right. You don't have to beat yourself down so much. You can turn something positive into something negative. And you can't do that with everything, I understand. With a lot of things that you have expectations for, you can though. Now let's talk about not doing anything when we know we need to do something. Alright, if we have a circumstance with a relationship, with our boss, with a fight that's coming up, you pretty much only have two options. Alright, there's somewhat three. I'll bring it down to two though. Alright, the first one is do something about it. Do something productive. Do something that comes to your head that you feel like would benefit in that situation. The second thing is doing the wrong thing. Self-sabotaging. To get the result that you're maybe used to. You're maybe used to feeling this failure, this embarrassment, to making a clown out of yourself in front of people and getting people to laugh that way. Which, yes, it can be funny at times as long as you don't mean those things and people don't believe that you mean those things about yourself. The third thing is not doing anything about it. When, in my head, if you're doing the wrong thing and self-sabotaging, you're still not doing anything to grow. You're not going out of your comfort zone. You know that you maybe have to do something that's going to make you feel so weird because it's so new to you, but it's going to allow you to grow, to maybe show love for other people and to show love for yourself and to respect yourself. Self-sabotaging, very dangerous. Doing nothing about it, just as dangerous. If you watch something happen, if you know that something is going to happen because of your past experiences, or you have a feeling, you have a gut feeling, and you decide not to do anything about it, then you're watching that bad emotion overtake your reality, and it might come true. I don't know how many of you can relate to that. If you have a feeling of something bad happening and you just make things worse, you even make things worse, right? And it comes true and you're like, oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. I'm failing again. No. There was probably a part of you that was telling you to do something different that you didn't want to do for whatever reason. It was touching your ego. It was making you going to make you lose the image that you have portrayed for other people. Maybe your friends weren't going to look at you the same way anymore. It doesn't matter. If you don't respect yourself, how are your friends going to respect you? Biggest lesson with failure is to not be afraid to fail, to look forward to it, because you're making an attempt. Use that attempt to make yourself happy that you're doing something that maybe a couple years ago you wouldn't feel comfortable doing. And now you're failing over and over and over and over and over again. Well, you're also making that attempt over and over and over and over again, hopefully while you're growing because you want to do something better with yourself. So you're gaining knowledge with every single attempt that you make. And that goes with anything that you do in your life. Whether it comes to learning how to do these hits, these techniques, learning how to have better relationships at work or with the person you live with, whatever it is, avoiding a situation where someone might be more aggressive. If you're aggressive back, what does that usually lead to? Someone getting hurt. And what's the probability that you're going to hurt that person a little bit too much or that they're going to hurt you a little bit too much? It's pretty high. So if you're used to going a different way about things, you can then gain these different pathways that you can choose to go down. You don't have to do the stereotypical pathway. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You're now more creative. You're thinking. You're using your brain to think about things that you can do. Because you're no longer afraid to fail. You're no longer afraid to step up for yourself, to step up for what's right, and to try something new. And hopefully that becomes something that's the norm for you. To do those things that make you uncomfortable as long as it allows growth and it's not hurting anyone, right? Thank you for watching. Let me know what you're going to do to improve on your failure, to improve on that negative mindset that you once had, and to use it as a positive tool that's going to allow you to project yourself to where you want to go. Let me know what you're going to do with failure and how you're going to use it